After an exciting game between the Giants and Washington, we look forward to the rest of week 2, where across 3 apps we can win over $1 million. Hey there, everybody. Welcome on into this episode of Winning Bets. It's your host, Jason Mattis, as always. Thanks for hanging out with me on this one. This one's one of our free games that we like to play, and it's actually 3 games that we play. It's the same 3 that we played on NFL Week 1. We can win over $1 million over on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. We can win $10,000 on the Play Barstools app, and we can win $5,000 over on the Yahoo Fantasy Slate app. Let's go ahead and start first with that Fox Bet Super 6 app. That's where you can win $1 million. They give you 6 games. You've got to correctly predict the winner and the win margin for all 6 games to go ahead and win that $1 million. How did I do last week? Last week, I gave you 4 of the 6 winners right, and I gave you 1 win margin right. So not bad considering it was week 1 where you don't really have a whole lot of information to go off of. But let's go ahead and see if we can't do better this week for you. The first matchup here is Bears versus Bengals. I thought, relatively speaking, I think this is kind of a tough matchup right here. The Bengals, they secured a really nice OT victory up over the Vikings. What really impressed me there in that win over the Vikings was how they limited Dalvin Cook. You know, when you go into a game against the Vikings, you're going to get a heavy dose of Dalvin Cook, and you've got to stop him. That's exactly what they were able to do, so I thought that was really good. Only 67 total yards was what the Vikings were able to run up against this really, good rush defense there for the Bengals, at least part in that one. The Bears, don't read too much into that. They went up against the Rams. They were always going to lose that game up against the Rams. So I really wouldn't read too much into that. I thought they did show some good fight. I thought Matt Nagy, for the most part, had some decent play calling. I liked his aggressiveness and going for it early. They're on 4th down. He knew they were going to have to try and outscore the Rams in that game. So I just liked the aggressiveness. I liked some of that play calling. I liked how they kind of mixed in Justin Fields right there in his first early action. So I'm not going to be put off too much by that Bears loss, or maybe even by the score of that Bears loss, because quite frankly, the Rams, they're going to beat up on a lot of teams, as they are a real Super Bowl contender right there. So I like the Bears defense more in this game, but I also like the Bengals offense more in this game. I really like Higgins, Chase, and Boyd, that 3 combination there, that wide receiver that the Bengals do have right there. I really think if Burrow can stay healthy over the course of his NFL career, I think when you look back on it, he'll have a better career than Andy Dalton. So this one was tough for me. When I actually write down my notes, I go B-E, because obviously Bengals and Bears both start with B-E. I couldn't fill out the rest. That's how I feel like this matchup's going to be really tough. It's obviously played in Chicago, so that'll give a little bit of help to the Bears. In the end, though, I did go ahead and side with the Bengals. I do think the Bengals will win this game. I've got the Bengals winning this game by 3 to 4 points. Yeah, this one will be tough. The next matchup we got here is Bills versus Dolphins. Everybody's not going to be too surprised that I'm on the Bills fan. If you're new here to the channel, welcome. And obviously I am a Bills fan. Got Josh Allen's jersey up there while I'm wearing a Bills jersey. But this isn't going to be all of a homer pick. The Bills up under Sean McDermott against the Dolphins are 7-1 straight up and 5-3 against the spread. So obviously a team that they've been able to handle really easily under Sean McDermott. To me, it's all about the quarterback play, right? We know it's a quarterback-driven league. Josh Allen's the MVP candidate so far. He's going to be, or not so far, but yeah, so far, he's better than Tua. So just from a quarterback perspective, in a quarterback-driven league, the Bills, I think, have a huge, huge advantage here. I like the Bills on the bounce back. Tough game there against the Steelers. I know, and don't take this as, I'm not high on the Dolphins. I ended up uploading a video for my top 5 future bets, and I mentioned the Dolphins in that video. I didn't have a bet on the Dolphins, but I mentioned them. They were, competing for a playoffs last season. I think they're going to be competing again for a playoffs this season. Good team, beat the Patriots in week 1, but I do have the Bills winning this game, and just due to their dominance up over the Dolphins, up under Sean McDermott, I think they'll get it done by 7 to 9 points. So Bills victory by 7 to 9 points for me. If we look at this next one here, we got the 49ers versus Eagles. Look, the 49ers, they pounded the Lions, but then the Lions came back into that game, and that's what kind of gives me a little bit of worry here, is if you're on the 49ers, let's say in this game to win it, they may let the Eagles, come back. That was really surprising. They made that unnecessary little touch uncomfortable there by letting the Lions, get 16 points in that 4th quarter. So that gives me a little bit of a concern there if I'm backing the 49ers in this game. But what's impressive there for the Eagles, how did they hold Matt Ryan to 164 yards? Very, very impressive. I mean, Matt Ryan's a good quarterback, and to hold him to 164 yards, that was really impressive right there. The Eagles were also impressive on their offensive side. It wasn't all just the defensive. They ran the ball for 173 yards on that Falcons defense. It wasn't all Jalen Hurts. Both of their running backs did really good, led by Sanders, obviously. So he had a really nice game. So yeah, they can. I mean, this is a much better defense, obviously, than what the Falcons pose. So, the 49ers, they won't get ran up over all of them. And then even from a practice perspective, they're obviously used to defending a good running attack in their practice setting because the 49ers can run the ball really right there. So I'm going to take the 49ers, though. They've got the better offense. I think they've got the better defense. But I believe this game is going to be high scoring. I think you're going to get up in the 50s. This one's going to be high scoring, folks. This is going to be a good, fascinating, entertaining game. But go ahead and give me the 49ers by 5-6. That's how I see that unfolding. The next one we got here is versus the Rams versus the Colts. Again, I mentioned earlier that the Rams are a Super Bowl contender, and they're a Super Bowl contender for a reason. You saw it there on Sunday Night Football against the Bears. They're the real deal. Love Jalen Ramsey moving around the different positions. He was making plays all across that line of scrimmage. So, yeah, that was a really good showing right there. Rams run defense, yeah, they may have gotten gashed there by the Bears, but it doesn't concern me. It's only week one. They're not going to read too much into week one. Not really going to overreact on any real large basis, but certainly not going to overreact on this Rams defense. They're good right there. Meanwhile, the Colts got beat by the Seahawks at home. While it is another home game, if you got beat by the Seahawks at home, I think the Rams are also going to come into your home ground and go ahead and pull off a victory because you got a better opponent this week in the Rams than you do the Seahawks. So I like the Rams. I like the Rams big in this one. Give me a Rams victory by 10 to 14 points. Next one we got here is the Saints versus the Panthers. I gave you guys the Saints as a winner last week. That was one of those 4 wins. I was on the Saints. I told you guys what was the reason why I like the Saints. Because if Jameis Winston just plays a clean game, this is going to be another good team. And look at the defense was great last season. They were great again last week in shutting down the Green Bay Packers. You just need clean football from Jameis Winston, and you don't have a whole hell of a lot of drop-off in that quarterback position. Yeah, Drew Brees, Hall of Famer, Pro Bowl quarterback every year, but Jameis Winston can push the ball down the field. You just need to limit the amount of mistakes that he can do. So, yeah, no surprise to me that the Saints won. Again, I was on them last week. Meanwhile, for the Panthers here, the offense led by Sam Darnold, they're just not going to be able to compete with Jameis Winston, and it's mainly because of that defense. That defense is really, really good there for the Saints. So as long as we can get another good, clean performance out of Jameis Winston, I don't think you have too much to worry here. You got the better defense, you got the better offense, you got the better playmakers. Yeah, go ahead and give me a Saints victory, and this one will be by 7 to 9 points. Then the last contest we got here on this Fox Bet Super 6 app for $1 million is Chiefs versus Ravens. Let me give you some stats here for this. Mahomes versus the Ravens is 3-0 versus the Ravens and 3-0 against Lamar Jackson. He's won those games by 3 points, 5 points, and 14 points. 14 points was the most recent one right there. The Ravens, they're still not going to have Marcus Peters, obviously, and they're still also possibly not going to have Jimmy Smith. So they're going to go into this game once again depleted there from a secondary standpoint, where I know there are injuries from a running back standpoint right there. But to me, I lean on this matchup is while the Ravens will be better at home, I just lean on Mahomes, the Chiefs. They've had the Ravens number. And like I said, they're 3-0 against them. I don't trust Lamar Jackson. If they do get behind early, he's not a great quarterback in terms of from a throwing standpoint. He's not going to lead a big monster comeback. Not to say the Chiefs will get out to a big lead, but really any lead. If you can force the Ravens into throwing the ball, okay, now you've gotten into their weakness because I just don't think Lamar Jackson can do that consistently on the NFL basis on this stage right here. So I've got the Chiefs winning this game. I've got the Chiefs winning this game by 7 to 9 points. All right, so that's how we're going to win $1 million on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Now let's jump it over to the Play Barstools app. This is where we can win $10,000. Last week it was $5,000. Nobody won, so they're upping it $5,000 each and every single week. So yeah, we're at $10,000 this week. Last week I got 5 of the 9 games right, and I just missed the correct score. You got to give them a correct score for the Monday night game. I missed it by 3 points. I had the Raiders winning that game 30-27, just barely missed that, but I did have the Raiders winning that game. But let's jump on into it and see how we'll do this week. This is where you pick the games against the spread. They just give you the line. You got to take which team you think will cover. So you get Rams minus 4.5 versus Colts. I'm obviously on the Rams there to cover that spread. The next one you get here is Raiders versus Steelers. Steelers favored by 6.5. Look, the Steelers were the biggest underdog win of all of last week at plus 250 around there, depending on which sports books you look at. But yeah, they were the biggest dog of the last week. Again, the Raiders didn't shock me. I had the Raiders winning that game, so no big surprise they beat those Ravens. I think they'll give the Steelers a good tough here. I know they come into this game beat up on injuries. I don't generally mention injuries on these videos here because unless it's to a star quarterback or really to a star player, we really know it's next man up in the NFL. I know the injuries that are happening across the league, but to me, if it's not a big name player, I don't put a lot of stock into it. So I'm not really too concerned that the Raiders may be coming into this game banged up. I think the Raiders will cover. It's only a 6.5 point spread. You saw what they did offensively up against the Ravens. The Ravens, generally speaking, have a good defense each and every season. Think they'll have another good defense this year. So like how the Raiders competed in that game, ultimately winning that game, obviously in overtime. Go ahead and give me the Raiders covering that plus 6.5. Next one, you got Bills-Dolphins. Bills minus 3.5. The Bills will cover that spread. Then you got Saints-Panthers. Saints minus 3.5. The Saints will also cover that spread. Then you got right here, you got Patriots versus Jets. Look, Patriots minus 4.5 here. It's Bill Belichick up against a rookie quarterback and Zach Wilson. I'm taking that all day long. Patriots at home. It should be, or no, I think this one's at New York, if I recall correctly. But either way, Zach Wilson, rookie quarterback. I think Bill Belichick will scheme this up absolutely perfectly. So I got no problem backing the Patriots here on the bounce back. Patriots will cover that 5-point spread. Next one we got here is Falcons versus Buccaneers. Buccaneers minus 12.5, and I absolutely hate big spreads in the NFL. You can handicap this game absolutely perfect, and then you get some late garbage touchdown up against prevent defense, and all of a sudden, let's say if you pick the Bucs to cover a 12.5 spread, boom, now they didn't cover it because they only won the game by 10 points as opposed to 17 points. So hate big spreads. I think big spreads are tough in the NFL. I think the Buccaneers will do it though. Obviously they get a touch a bit extra rest, but just from an offensive and defensive standpoint, obviously they're the better team. So Buccaneers will cover. Let's hope we don't have to sweat out a late garbage touchdown there by the Falcons. Next one we got here is Titans versus Seahawks. Seahawks minus 5.5. Seahawks are always tough at home. Seahawks are tough at home. The Titans will play better. I mean, can't play a whole hell of a lot worse than what they did up against the Cardinals. But they will certainly be better. But I think it's always tough to go into Seattle and get yourself a victory. That said, I think the Titans will play better enough, and I think they'll be able to cover this 5.5. They may not win that game, but I think they'll keep it close. Tannehill will rally them up. They'll do better. Vrabel knows how to coach them up on both sides of the ball, but really from a defensive standpoint, this one will be high scoring as well. You're going to need to score a lot of high points. You're going to need to score a lot of points if you want to beat the Seahawks, but if you want to cover a 5-point spread, I think you're also going to score a lot of points. So high scoring game for me. Titans will cover this one plus 5.5. Next one we got here is Chiefs-Ravens. Chiefs minus 2.5. The Chiefs will cover that spread. And then the Monday night game, you got to give them the correct score prediction between Lions and Packers. Everybody's going to be on the Packers here, and rightfully so. So don't overthink this one. It just comes down to what will be the score. I think the Lions can put up some points here, and not a crazy amount, but I think they can put some up. I'm going to go Packers 31, and I'm going to go Lions 20. So Packers 31, Lions 20. That's how we'll do it on the play Barstools at for a chance to win $10,000. All right, our third and final lap here for NFL Week 2. Try and get you guys some money. It's $5,000 over on the Yahoo Fantasy Slate app. This is where they give you 8 questions. It's just a weird combination of 8 questions. I kind of like this one because they give you some player props, game props. It's a good app right here. So let's see if we can win that $5,000 prize. Question 1 is who's going to win between Rams, Colts? We obviously know I'm already on the Rams. What's going to be the longest TD in Rams versus Colts? I'm going 41 yards plus. We know Sean McVay loves the big play. He's not scared to pull out, the right play up against any defense to dial one up. Go ahead and give me 41 plus yards up as the longest touchdown in that game. Bills, Dolphins, who's going to win? Go Bills. Saints, Panthers, who's going to win? We're already on those. Saints, you already know that. Which running back will have more total yards? I think Alvin Kamara. I mean, he's just going up against the easier defense. I know the Panthers have a good defense, but that Saints defense is really, really good. So I think Alvin Kamara will have the better day up over Christian McCaffrey. So I'll go Alvin Kamara right there. Titans, Seahawks, over under 54.5 points. Over, folks. Take the over. That game's going to be high scoring right there. So over 54.5 points for me. Cowboys, Chargers, who wins that game? I'm on the Chargers right there. You don't have Anthony Lynn screwing games up this season. Chargers are going to be a good football team. And they'll be able to go ahead and beat Dallas at home. So Chargers for me. I almost said San Diego right there. Chargers for me in that one. And then which wide receiver duo will have more TDs? It's going to be Allen and Williams for me. And Keenan Allen's a beast, folks, running out of that slot. Yeah, Keenan Allen is really, really good wide receiver in this league. So I'll go ahead and say Allen and Williams for me. All right, guys, that's how we're doing it. $1,000 over on the Fox Bet Super 6 app, $10,000 on the Play Barstools app, and $5,000 over on the Yahoo Fantasy Slate app, all for NFL Week 2. Go ahead and hit that like button. If I've been of help to you on any of this, just go ahead and hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, good luck on your picks. Enjoy NFL Week 2 action, and we look forward to seeing you back here for these same games next week. Have a good one. That was a lot of fun. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and good luck with your picks. If interested in placing real sports bets, then check out my latest daily free sports betting video in the bottom right corner. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next contest.